Alright, let's try this again. This is Mr. Miro Man, and we are continuing our playthrough of Warden. This will be the third playthrough. Hopefully my microphone is a little bit more audible. We'll see how it goes. Fogs carry magical pneuma. They enhance spellcasters' talents, but also wake any human corpse they touch. They are rare in spring and calming during fall. Let's see, look, continue. Yeah, I think that'll do. Oh, okay. That's convenient. I don't have to sort through the loading screens each time. Okay. I'm pretty sure we read this last time, but I think it'll just help us to get reacquainted. So, the planks are still firm and there's no mustiness in the air, but the vehicle needs just a push to fall to pieces, like a child's toy with nothing to keep the parts together. There are ways to construct a wagon with just wood, leather, and fiber, but you find the marks of hinges, braces, nails, and clamps, which are all gone now. The wheels are missing their steel rims. You find one linen bag, empty and moist. You can't estimate how deep the tracks are. The ground was hard, so the cart's weight wasn't a significant factor. Alright, just a quick recap. We are on the way to... Actually, you know what? Let's make this easier for all of us, because I cannot remember the name for the life of me. Hoffman, let's see. Quest. Run the village, peninsula. Howler's Dell. Thank you. There we go. We are on the way to Howler's Dell to do something I can't quite recall, to be honest with you. I know that we do plan to, after we get to Howler's Dell, go there and escort the scavenger. Or go back and escort the scavenger. I do think we also wanted to meet the mayor of Howler's Dell. I remember the innkeeper gave us some sort of quest about that. So let's see. Let's just return. Let's check out this tree. The leaves are not completely dry, and when you break one of the twigs, it still contains water. There are no signs of sickness that you can recognize. The termites and other bugs are still sparse. Beneath the trunk, there's no blood, no abandoned limbs. Let's see the stump. You don't find any marks of a maw or paws. The top is hip high and unnaturally smooth. You can comfortably sit down on it. Let's see, river. It would only take 2 steps to disappear in the deep water. The rocky bank smells fresh and is filled with the sounds of frogs, insects, and birds. It's not a good spot to quench your thirst. The beds of long kelp pulled by the flow of the river are crowded with fish and four-legged creatures that you don't even recognize. You keep an eye on the land. There's no carcass in sight and no signs of shells that would be left nearby. I feel like shells really does refer to body in this case, but I assume that we're regular humanoid, but I think it's just the turn of phrase they prefer. Let's see the bushes. There are no berries left, only broken twigs, fallen leaves, and trampled grass. You notice a pointy arrow made by a human hand, with a head made of horn and black-orange fletching. You don't know what type of bird would have such features. You see no arrow marks around, not even on the wagon. Let's see, Western Hill. The rocky wall isn't much of a challenge. The top of the hill is covered with short grass and sparse trees. You notice a couple of bushes with a good view of the road, just next to the remains of a campfire. Sharp pieces of wood, ash, bird bones, trampled grass, and a broken earthenware bottle. You follow the deepest tracks, leading to the edge of the soft earth. Someone jumped down, or at least stopped stepping on the grass. Let's see the road. Okay, Okay, let's see. The road here is already being overgrown, fading away. but it's in no worse shape than the other parts of the southeastern route. No alternate path is formed around the blockade. Second, let me adjust something. Let's see, is there anything else I need to look at? I think we got the general idea. Actually, what do you think has happened to the tree? Oh, it's a test. Jeez, okay. Let me go back and check that tree. It's not dry. There's no termites. There's no blood. Jeez, I wasn't expecting to be a detective all of a sudden. Let's see, Western Hill. Maybe it's just a quiz. Let me just scroll through these options real quick. I'll spare you guys the endless recitation. Let's see, river. Nothing. Wagon. I feel like it's some sort of trap. I think it was an ambush. It was cut down to set up an ambush. I didn't see anything else weird, so let's see. Why was the wagon abandoned? Let's see. I think it was attacked by highwaymen, but I'm kind of guessing. What was originally transported on the wagon? How do I tell that? What was linen? A linen bag seems unusual. I mean, I think linen's decently valuable, so we'll try valuable merchandise. What happened to the owner of the wagon? I think they were kidnapped. It looks like this place was sort of picked clean from what I gather. You think that the tree was cut down to set up an ambush. The cart, which transported some valuable merchandise, was attacked by highwaymen. Its owners were taken north. Are you sure that this is most likely what happened? I mean, I'm decently confident. Then again, I kind of zoned out all the descriptions, but you know, we'll see what happens. What was that? While you can't be sure what really happened here, you don't think there's much left for you to find. Let's hope you haven't missed anything. I guess we can check again. Let's see, second thoughts. No side path, no remains of a camp. Okay, it's used exclusively by animals involving the first trail we find. The tree. Nothing stands out. The stump. Nothing stands out. The tracks. Boots. Yep. Head north. Yep. Which one's this? The tracks, like we said. The wagon. Seems like they stole everything off the wagon, or they took everything off the wagon. The river, let's see. There's no carcass. Bunch of animals. The bushes. Not sure, there are no arrow marks. Maybe it just broke down. The Western Hill. Let's see. Someone jumped down. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with what I think happened, which is, I mean, I guess it could have been the wind. No, I'm gonna stick with what I said earlier. Or maybe it broke. No, I think they took all the stuff off. Let's see. I'll stick with it. Alright, so we'll carry on. I have second thoughts about the investigation. Huh, so I did miss something, huh? Okay, let's see. There's no camp. Okay, there's a game trail. Go back to the tree. There's no sign of sickness. Okay, I guess animals could have attacked. The stump. I might edit this part out so you guys don't have to see me mentally struggle for a minute. Let's see. There's no mark, no paw. Look at the tracks. 2 sets of tracks, no hoof prints. It could have been the wind, maybe. Let's see. Look at the tracks. I return to the wagon. Oh, I guess it could have just broke down. Okay, that would make sense. It does say the vehicle just needs a push to fall to pieces. But at the same time, it mentions all these things of hinges, braces, nails, blah, 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 which implies someone took it apart. Let's see, the river. Huh. Let's see what this is. Alright, what else could it have been? It could have been the wind, maybe. There was no reason to think it was from an illness. There was no maw that implied it was a monster. It could have been the wind, I guess. Let's see. If it was the wind, it's most likely that it broke during the storm somehow. Or it broke in general. Actually, no. They probably just didn't bother to try and figure out another way around. So they probably just took it apart by themselves. Let's see. I do think it's probably valuable merchandise because the linen bag, most likely. Would they turn back? I mean, I doubt they were taken north. Actually, let's see, because it's possible they could have went north. Because otherwise, what? Yeah, I think they probably went north. You think that the tree was broken by wind. The cart, which transported some valuable merchandise, was left behind by the owners, who had no time to move it. Its owners were taking north. Alright, well, you can't be sure what really happened here. You don't think there's much left for you to find. Let's hope you haven't missed anything. I consider washing myself in the river. The river is full of life. Not only a bit brown and greenish, but also smelling of algae. It won't help you much. The ash soap you own can help you get cleaner. I think we'll step away. Alright, we can... Oh, yeah, we just travel past there. So I probably was... Well, no, I was probably wrong the first time. For some reason, I sort of read that as me being blocked. But let's see. When I click this, I'll probably still be... Nope, okay, we're good. So that was an unnecessary portion of me just racking my head for nothing. But, hey, it's a good thought exercise. As long as you ride uphill, the forest is sparse. Soon after, the tree roots tear the path apart. The road is coated with branches, acorns, leaves, and chestnuts, and some seedlings have already broken through the pitted surface of the road. If left undisturbed for another year or two, the forest will reclaim this place. Finally, you ride upwards again. The plants are getting smaller, the road more rocky. Quick digression. When we first started the game today for today's session, I saw that part about Penuma again, and I almost went on a little tangent again, rather. I think I went on a tangent in the first part of the playthrough. But I got distracted because I was getting the game ready. So I'm sure we'll run into Penuma again, and I can expand on it. Maybe I'll make a separate video talking about, you know, the Stoic conception of Penuma, and then I'll tie it into what I can gather from here. Let's see. Anyway, I sigh of relief. You know what? We're going to take a quick moment. Let me just check something in the archive. Journal settings. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Character, inventory, archive. Maybe it is. I was hoping. I know there's a little bestiary here or something like that. Inventory, journal. Here we go. Let's see. Glossary. That's what I wanted. Okay. Okay, this will help what they're talking about when they talk about shell. Let's see. The people of the land see a correlation between magic and breath. They describe all living creatures as empty shells filled with pneuma, the life force sustained by breathing. They believe that creatures who use magic do so because of their souls, a unique identity held in their shells which turns pneuma into something greater. That's why almost the entirety of magic is used through speech and breathing. Thus, all living creatures use pneuma, but only a few are the soul carriers, humans and spirits such as the deities living in the forest, demons, or ghosts. All of these ideas are in some way lacking when they are confronted with reality. Some believe that dragons, goblins, beast folk, or howlers do possess a soul, while others distinguish between souls of a higher and lower rank. It's not clear why some humans can cast spells by gestures alone, or why animals don't rise as the undead, or why a smaller number of humans can't use magic at all, while the others have unusual talents. The various views and interpretation are not just part of an advanced theological debate, but also shape stories and laws. Righteous churches don't consider magic to be different from any other human activity, while minor religions believe that it's either an essential part of nature or a divine domain. Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. I'm gonna fight the urge to, go into the tangent right now, but yeah, that's certainly interesting. Okay, let's see. And the one thing about that tangent is I forgot if I didn't read this. Okay, I remember. While the hills are full of life, you don't hear anything coming from the watchtower. Its upper level lacks a wooden platform from which the guards could fire their crossbows or drop stones on the opponents below. So this place was not meant to be used in combat, but rather as a shelter from claws and fangs. Such structures can be found especially untamed parts of the Dragonwoods, used occasionally by travelers or patrolling squads. Since the end of the war, the cities can't find enough people and dragon bones to keep them in good shape. You see no footsteps, no lights, no fresh trash or a latrine. The birds are preening their feathers on the top of the tower, while the branches of the nearby trees are swaying in the fierce, cold winds. Let's see. What are the options? I look for the tracks I saw near the fallen tree. I approach the entrance. Take a look at the signposts. I walk to the gate. Let's see if the tracks are there. The tracks lead here to the Merrill Gate, then west. The hard hills are especially noticeable. I approach the entrance. Actually, let's look at the signpost. The planks and letters are damaged by decades of rains, frost, boars, and claws. You scratch off some of the moss. There are 3 planks on the signpost, each one pointing in a different direction. The letters don't tell you anything. The plank on the top points both south and north, but there are no pictures that would tell you anything more than that. The one beneath it points east, and there's a word written in blue paint. The arrow here looks more like a magic wand. The bottom plank has a picture of a tall tower surrounded by little houses, and points west. The wood is covered in red paint, suggesting danger. Oh, that's great. Let's check the spruce seeds. Maybe there's something interesting among the spruce trees. A lot of animals, huh? It must be a human-made corpse. Only the smallest spruce... Oops, forgot to put that on mute. There we go. Only the smallest of spruces are out of order, born of wild seeds. The largest trees are as tall as the tower itself, which surely doesn't help those who are meant to observe the surroundings. There are also some stumps, most of which used to belong to young saplings. These trees were likely meant to be sold to carpenters and coopers, but they were left alone many years ago. In the corpse, you find wild fennel and lettuce thriving in shadows, and there are pears and berries growing among nearby trees and shrubs. Let's check the campfire spot, maybe. You see a shattered bowl, the remains of a meal from many years ago. However, the firewood and lonely stool are not too old. You don't doubt that the watchtower seems less threatening to wayfarers than the wilderness around it. I guess we can walk to the gate. Setting up a firm wall in a place like this is a bit unusual. It goes on for no more than 40 feet until it connects with a natural rock face. Such a structure could be found near the city, acting as a checkpoint at which to stop any travelers to search through their belongings or request a fee. But in the middle of nowhere, deer and other animals used to running here with no hindrance must have been more than annoyed. A risky investment. You touch the gate made of high-quality wood, previously soaked in oil, now mostly wiped off. It was left open, and you don't see any wooden bar that would be used to lock it. You try to move the coat planks buried in dried-out mud, but with no luck. It would require some weary digging. Okay, let's approach the entrance. You take a look at Cruxio. If necessary, it could bow its head and walk inside. This place should be a decent shelter for both of you. The planks are strong, heavy, well protected from rain and wind, and when you knock, they seem to be thick. While the door shakes at your push, it won't open. Defensive structures usually have a locking bar on their inner side, but you also see a large keyhole. You walk around the tower, making sure there are no open windows or other entrances. It doesn't look like you can get in without destroying the door, and doing so is going to make a potential entryway for wild creatures. Let's see. Do I dare look through the keyhole? Yeah. You kneel down and take a peek. There's nothing in the hole, but the room is dark with tiny bits of light passing through the crevices of the windows. You see the shapes of wooden furniture, like tables, cask, and a ladder, but the only movement you notice belongs to the dust dancing in the sunbeams. Which I'm grateful for. I would have been mortified if I looked through the keyhole and I got stabbed in the eye somehow. I'm like, I didn't really think it was that kind of game, but, it's still pretty early. I think we're good. I don't really see the need to break it down. And I almost yelled, let's break it down, because I used to play too much. Well, I didn't even play that much Overwatch. But I digress. Let's see, return to the crossroads. Oh, we can keep traveling, right? We gotta get used to that. I keep thinking I have to find a way through. Let's see. I do not know which direction to go. I guess we'll go straight. Or north, rather. With no trees or cracks blocking the sun, the road is bright and inviting. The simple bridge is centuries old, bitten by time. It makes you think of the dolmen you saw south of here. The torrent here is deep and fast, with plenty of fish. The boat is destroyed beyond repair, rotten, fallen to pieces, with holes in the floor and on the sides, overgrown with fungi and moss. The thick shrubs lining the path are covered with thorns. Small birds are jumping from one twig to another, pecking at the brown berries. You think about picking some of the fruits, but you're not sure they're edible. I think we'll go back or somewhere else. We're good. Oh, we can still go forward. Oh, I wish I would have. Oh, I think there is a chance. Let's just check the journal. Quests. It would be very nice if. One moment. Let's keep going north. Okay, I goofed up. Yep, the music suddenly changed and I knew Well, okay, let's get to it. The general road leads downhill, getting greener and less rocky the further north you get. Just in case your eyes run towards a few drier parts of the meadows, and you instantly shout at Cruxia to make haste. A pack of short-haired wolves, at least 20 members strong, is chasing after you. Their coats are a mixture of yellow, black, and white spots, and as if someone threw mud and painted them. They move toward the road with human-like speed, and you realize only some of them are running straight at you. They're trying to cut through my path. If it wasn't for your palfrey, the beast would have already caught up with you. Their trap was perfectly set up, not leaving you any path of escape. Your terrified mount is disciplined enough to stay on the beaten path, and even though one of the bigger wolves almost sinks its teeth into your mount's thigh, you manage to squeeze between the hunters. For the next few minutes, you do your best to get further away, and while your gallop is indeed faster, the wolves easily shorten the distance by moving through the sparse forest. You ride past a wooden cabin placed in a clearing at the bottom of the rock face, but you can't stop while the pack is at your back. Maybe I have something I could use here. You think about your sacks and bundles, but the pack won't wait for you to sort things out. The group gets larger the further you go, and even more of its members previously hidden among the trees and grasses now join the hunt, allowing their tired family members to slow down. You may be able to lose them after some time, but scaring and wounding some of them may force them to give up on their prey sooner. Jeez. So is this some more wolves in addition to the 20? Wow. Alright, I think I have my crossbow ready apparently, so we'll just have to give it a shot. Okay, that seemed to have worked. You reach for the drawn crossbow in a boat, then lock your sights on the closest creature. You wait until you learn its rhythm, then shoot once it's in midair. The arrow flies through the wolf's flesh, causing it to let out a pain cry and plunge to the ground. Your concerned allies howl with fear and anger. While a few of them try to keep up, many more stay behind and surround their pack member, protecting it from potential threats. That's sweet. Attempted murder of me aside. After another few minutes, you are alone again, this time at the edge of the hills. Cruxia is tired but patient, more happy to survive than it is angry at your wanderlust. At least you can hope the pack will move to a different place during the night. I mean, in my defense, I have no sense of direction. Like, I've already sort of, well, to be fair, I think we got the directions like a day or two ago, but it is what it is. I let it rest and look for a bit and look around. The valley is flanked by the hills. To the west, the grasses and bushes blend into the horizon and turn to another part of the forest. The southern hills are gray and tall, with fortress-like rock faces and a crown of conifers. The northern ones have countless sand-colored rocks, lumped together like piles of rubble and clay, bearing hardly any soil or weeds. The plants here are struggling. The grass is short and yellowish, sometimes dried out. The bushes have silver leaves, like many plants from sunny areas. The mushrooms can't hide in the shadows, but as you approach one, you see it's growing from the remains of a dead bird, while others are covering old branches and other plants. They won't last much longer. Jeez. It'll be easy to spot any larger beast around. Small mercies, I guess. You have to squint to spot the first threatening creature. Oh, jeez. A runner is in the far east, close to the hills, though it completely ignores you, walking around observing the grass, looking for its next prey. You don't have to worry about it for now. There are boot prints on the road, as well as in the short grass, fresher than on any other part of the eastern road. Since many mushrooms were cut away with a knife, and you notice few berries on the shrubs, you conclude it's a foraging spot for the people from the north, although there doesn't seem to be much food left. There are almost no prints leading further south. Do I want to forage? Let's give it a shot. You let Cruxio keep itself busy while you walk around, looking for anything edible. It takes a fair bit of time. You don't plan to carry around raw mushrooms and bugs, and the wild vegetables need to be washed before you put them in your bag. You finally found a few handfuls of plants, fruits, and nuts. Next time, however, it's not going to be so easy, especially since the runner, a bird both taller and wider than you, observes you carefully, at first from a distance, then circling around you. After about half an hour, you hear its piercing screech. As the creature runs at you, shaking a beak larger than your head, you throw everything to a sack and get into the shadow. Whoops. Do I want to keep going north? Or do I want to... Can I even safely double back? I gotta wait for a day anyway, which makes sense. I guess we'll stay the course. I feel like I'm just gonna walk into like the murder boss death king. Okay, this doesn't look too bad, I think. Hold on, let me just grab a sip. You know, the one thing about all this reading, it certainly dries out your throat if you're not prepared. The air is humid but fresh, vitalizing. The light touches the road and shrubs, blocked only by the single willow, wild and untrimmed. You're by a lake, too large for you to see its other bank, but the local soil isn't too fertile. There are only a few trees on the horizon, while struggling bushes and grasses fight with layers of rocks. The path leading farther north is green, bright and calming. A gray rabbit is clearing its fur near the brook, but the sounds of hooves make it hop towards the nearest shrub. Right after it sinks into the leaves, you hear it squeal, cut off quickly. Whatever its hunter was, it leaves behind only the rustling of the thicket and a trail of blood. You wait for a long moment with a hand on your axe, but the creature doesn't return. You relax a bit, then towards a stone statue of a young woman. Right closer to it. Such a monument would be a better fit for a temple or a rich city folk's house. Here, without any cover, it's already losing its shape from the rains and dust. Chunks of the face and hair have already broken off. It has detailed eyes and human-like proportions, and the clothes are like fabric petrified by a spell. The statue carries the usual traveling equipment: a walking staff, a gambeson, simple paths now covered by leaves. I think it's more of a shame to see it deteriorating. There are no answers to find in the statue's absent eyes. I'm going to get rid of these branches and clear the space. Why am I doing that? It's for the locals. No, I think I kind of like the history. I think it's just a nice thing to do. Or, I don't know, someone should do it. Yes, that's why I do it. Because it pleases me to do so. You dismount and approach the bushes. You try to push them away, but their stems are thick and healthy, crowded with insects and spider webs. Thankfully, you see no thorns, and the touch of a leaf doesn't make your finger itchy. Yeah, I'll cut them down. Oh, I gotta. Should I do it now? Maybe I should sleep first. Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. Let's find some shelter. Oh, wait. Okay, I don't know who that is. We might have goofed, didn't we? Chat, am I cooked? Okay, we'll go back later. The lakeside is filled with the chirping of cicadas and crickets, as well as the roaring of beasts from the hills. The tall yellow grasses are interwoven with flowers and bumblebees, while the peaceful water shines just as much as the wings of dragonflies. This road is often traveled, and the clatter of hooves carry far. Thanks to the vast field of view, the creatures hiding in the meadow are unlikely to jump at an animal as large as Cruxio. In the distance, you see a palisade and a large burning set on the side of the crossroad. Once you get closer, you hear a conversation behind the wall. Two men are arguing about if they really just heard a horse. I guess we can talk to them, hopefully. Please don't be bandits. Please don't be bandits. Cruxio carries you towards the open gate on its own, welcoming an opportunity to rest by pushing out the air loudly through its nostrils. A nearby wooden pen won't offer much space for a horse, but it should be enough for grazing and a nap. As you dismount, two men get up from the front stairs. Their clean-shaven faces reveal that they're in their early 20s. The first one is taller than you, broad-shouldered, and wears light brown pants and a darker jacket, both of them made of leather. With an inviting smile, he gets up and moves to open the enclosure. His steps are heavy and slow, but every movement is marked with care, ensuring he won't knock down anything or anyone. The second man looks as different from his colleague as the sun from the moon. He's unusually short and wears a heavy cloak made of black fur so large it could cover his entire shell. He opens the door of the building, hides his hands, and peeks into the room. Foggy, his voice is drilled and unconcerned. A messenger. Come. Slight digression. I wonder how tall humans are in this world. Only because I remember when we were in the one of the previous village, the female soldier we were talking to seemed like almost mesmerized at the idea of like a human getting on a horse. But then again, it could be that they have donkeys, they just don't have horses. And horses are pretty tall. You usually have to, get a saddle or, act like this is Zorro and bounce up there. Anyway, I take off some of my bundles, let my horse rest. A hanging barrel sways in the wind, marking the place as an inn or a tavern. The building resembles a merchant's house from Havlavan, whitewashed and with oiled, elegant wooden beams. The fragile walls are high enough to avoid floods and snow, but you have no doubt that a troll or even a pebbler could easily break through them. The palisade is short, has hardly any support, and has no walkway for crossbowmen. Hardly enough for even a makeshift hamlet. Yet it's the open harbor that makes you uneasy. Aside from the fish, any creature, aquatic or not, could just walk into the yard undisturbed. The path is covered with paw prints and claw marks. Better not leave Cruxio outside during the night. Makes sense. I don't want my buddy gone. A black and white bird swoops into the water and then flaps its wings and takes off with a silver twitching creature in its talons. The large man clears his throat. Now what we have here, coming from afar, friend? Are there now horses and howlers? His voice is stentorian, close to a shout. You vaguely recognize his accent as one found at the city harbor. Stentorian. I'm gonna have to remember that one for later. I've never heard anything like that. For a second I thought it was like the type of accent, but apparently not. Let's see. Friendly, playful. I think maybe we'll try. Let's see what friendly says. Let's see. Distance. I think playful. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I laugh. Far, far away indeed. You can't see it from. No, that's. I'll keep it simple. We're friendly. Or, friendly, yeah. Quite far, kind soul. Cruxit came with me from Hovlevan. He nods appreciatively. A weird beast, eh? A donkey that can kill a man. You notice he keeps quite a distance from it and holds his hands close to his throwing club. Haven't seen one in a while. The roads here aren't that bad. They take you north and east with ease. You hear heavy footsteps. A woman shows up in the doorway and looks at you from the top of the stairs. She's even more towering and stark than her son, the man who just welcomed you, with a massive chest and a pear-shaped face with a prominent chin. Her movements are composed and confident. She may be older than 50, with a mixture of gray and dark blonde hair. She only has one arm, the left one, noticeably muscular, and with a hand so large you could likely chop off Cruxiel's hand with a single strike, or crush yours like a berry. Through the slit of her robe, made of creamy worn fur, you spot her trunk-like legs. She runs her eyes over your blade, armor, and mount. Her lips form into something of a smile, escorted by the scar that runs through her mouth. I was gonna make mommy jokes, but I'm kind of worried she's actually gonna try and kill me. Anyways, the tall guy looks a lot like her. The tall man spreads his arms, forming a chain between you and his mother. Meet Foggy, friend. Ma, the rider has come to us from Hovlevan. Just look at his horse. His powerful voice turns timid, and he keeps turning his head from left to right and back. Too bad we have no hay. It looks hungry. The woman looks at him with amusement, then glances at your palfrey. Ah, a cute monster you bought, but not enough fat on it. If it ever breaks a leg, bring it here. We'll smoke it for the winter. Leave my buddy alone. She vaguely stretches out her only hand. What brings you to Foggy Lake, love? Just stopping by? Her voice is hoarse, like that of a traveler who spent too many autumns night in cold tents, yet carries a hint of motherly concern. Oh, let's see, I close the animal pen behind me and head towards the stairs. Yeah, let's have a talk. Please don't kill me. You won't find another shelter in this part of the Dragon Woods, especially not in creeks. She scratches her broad chin with sausage-like fingers. You drink? Let's see. I smile. In good company. That's what I like to hear. Her brief, powerful laughter is enough to scare away the birds from above the lake. Your mouth lets off a fearful snort. Let's not wait then. Come, dear, share a story with me in a mug. Without waiting for your response, she walks inside. The tall man takes a deep breath. Go ahead, we'll take care of your horse. He encourages you with a gesture. And by that, he means he won't do anything with it, as the man in black fur. Whenever his screechy words follow the deep voices of companions, he sounds like a brat. We won't be feeding or washing beasts that aren't going in a stew, but we'll keep an eye on it. That's all I can ask for. Just don't screw me over, bro. They find new spots to rest, the side of a boat and a stool near the palisades. I'll just go. The narrow segmented window shutters let in a lot of light without letting the beast inside. The air is humid, but carries not a hue of putridity. The heels of Foggy's boots make her steps thunder, even though the planks don't creak. Slight digression. I don't know why, but maybe it's because I just played Marvel Rivals, but it was like, oh, this is like a giant Emma Frost. No, digression. I'm going to cut this out later. Or probably not. Anyway, the heels of Foggy's boots make her steps thunder even though the planks don't creak. Make yourself at home, she says without looking at you, heading to the trap door in the corner. I'll just grab a little something. Oh God, I'm so terrified. Your ears catch the screeches of hunting birds and the wind that leaks in through the windows. But other than that, the room is quiet. I don't think I'm gonna wait. I don't want to be a little too nosy. I'll sit down and wait. You take a glance at the blood on the table, the scattered yellow feathers, and a bowl of guts and talons. You find yourself a clean stool. Foggy shows up soon, smiling, holding 2 cups in her hand, and a bottle in her fingers, and a cloth under her shoulder. She puts everything on a stool and wipes the table clean. Forgive the mess, just part of the job, she explains without a hint of apology. I'd rather dress birds in the yard, but the blood lowers beasts. Sometimes the folk from creeks bring us meals, but we need to take care of ourselves. She throws the bloody cloth back into the bucket, making a splash, and sits down on the stool, making it look like it was made for a doll. She rests the elbow on the table and looks you in the eyes. Her voice is warm, yet intrusive. So who am I dealing with? I introduce myself. The bottle removes its seal seemingly by itself. The wax floats in the air briefly, then lands on the table gently. Without a word, she pours a thick liquid into the cups with her only hand, but doesn't offer you a drink just yet. Let's see. Let's say I was mostly looking for a stereon. I had no idea there was a tablet in here. I'm looking for a stereon, the previous road warden. She looks at you for a moment longer without the slightest movement. And why do you think he's here? I'm not saying that I do, but maybe you know where I can find him. I'd say I'm just asking around. While her voice remains calm, her thin eyes get distrustful. You scared me a little bit. I don't want any nasty rumors. Sure, some of those who travel through Foggies disappear on the road, but it's a safe place. We don't hold slaves. She waves towards the trap door. You can check and see. I'm good. Let's see. I'll just keep it simple. What can you tell me about him? She rests her only hand across her stomach, which you identify as her version of crossing her arms. A customer and an errand runner. What's there to say? Your additional questions don't get many more answers. She brings up the man's looks and equipment, without adding much to what you've already learned from Tilia. He is paying with dragons, rarely bartered, she had. That's what city folks do, seeking riches and locking themselves in chamber, prisoners of their might. I don't mind. I smile. Well said. Her chuckle makes you think of a wolf's growl. When's the last time you saw a stereon? She glanced out the window. Same as the others in the late days of spring. We were waiting for his return. Me and all the villages. Then moved on. I have no idea where he went. All of the villages, you say? Alright, girl, dang. She turns towards you with the fierceness of a bad. That's what I said. I just didn't know you was such a badass, but it's all good. Did he do any jobs for you? She presses her tongue against her cheek and lips. Well, I'm not sure. He's bringing me news or delivering my messages. Sold me some stuff. Sometimes brought a thing or two. His life wasn't really that riveting. Just another mug guzzler sitting in the corner, patching his clothes. Did he sell you anything unusual? She stares at you without blinking. Such as what? Oh, such as what? Okay. Maybe something that hints to where he went. She frowns. I'll tell you if I think of anything. We'll return to this later. I don't really want to be like, oh, you're not bothered by his disappearance. That's unwise. Maybe. Once our souls are too restless to stay quiet. But now, go ahead, enjoy your drink. I hope she's not going to try and kill me. She's nice, but, I'm very paranoid these days. Maybe after that, the 20 wolves suddenly came out of nowhere. I'm a little cautious. You raise a cup to your nose. You smell flowers, yeast, and hops. The liquid is golden on the edges, but resembles red amber in the center. It's as thick as a herbal medicament. You take a look at your companion, seeking a hint of what's expected of you. In some places, people gulp down their mead, but your vessel allows you to appreciate the aroma. The huge keeper smiles and takes a sip. You follow her lead, allowing the drink to pass your lips. It's warm, hiding none of its subtleties. Drinking mead is a never-ending conflict between holding the taste in your mouth and saving yourself from the tormenting sweetness of honey. Yet the flavors of flowers are just as present, too difficult to capture just yet. Foggy leans forward with an elbow resting on the table. Well, for me, it's a lazy evening. At least the rain spares us. So nicely holding off till the evenings. We'll start simple, a little diplomacy. Oh, what's going on here? I probably should have read what that said. Oh, wait, I can. Journal, thank you. Where's archive? Yeah, archive. What's the story behind this place? It can't be more than a few years old. It's our third summer under the roof of Foggy Lake, but the palisade is older. It used to be a camping spot for some of the bird catchers from creeks, and there are fish here that don't swim in our streams. When we were but newcomers in the north, these lands were hard to bend, but the beast got used to us with time. A melancholy crawls into her eyes. She observes the mead in her cup. Every year or so we added something new. The rocks for a campfire, some stools, a fence, a firewood shed, a boat. At one point we bought the lumber from White Marshes and built a cabin like the one at the Eastern Road. More folks started resting here, even traders from Gale Rocks and Old Pecos. A plenty fine spot for an inn, eh? Her smile is warm. I'm building my home from nothing, you could say, and not for the first time. How about you? Does any of it sound tempting? Let's see. There's 3 options. Oh, we'll try Death's Dream. Just chilling. Like a hermit. That's the dream. A place far away from Hovlevin. Somewhere where I can rest after a day of work without aching back. Actually, no, I'll say... Yeah, no, that's what it is. You speak my own words, love. My own words. We have a good home here in the north. Not a safe one, not a fun one. But there's plenty of food and plenty of things to build. I'm already luckier than most. She looks at the place where her missing arm used to be. Let's ask, how do you stay safe? How do you stay safe from the beast? You're completely open from the lake. Quick legs, love. Her brief yet thunderous laughter makes you flinch. We don't leave any food outside, but our cauldron smells. Every now and then something scary shows up. We lock ourselves in here for days if we have to. Our windows help us keep an eye on the yard. Better than leaving the hamlet to goblins. Insert Goblin Slayer joke here. You mentioned that having no wall from the lakeside is quite a risk. She nods in agreement and takes another sip. We don't bring children and old folks around, but this part of the peninsula is not so bad, at least in sunlight. Not much food growing or running around unless you can live on fish and birds, and the folks of creeks are great hunters, the greatest around. But isn't there a harbor in the city as well? How do you keep the creatures away? Let's say they're used to avoiding Hovlevin. The guards and sailors make it dangerous for them. Well, maybe. Yeah, we'll save that. See, that's what I hoped for. With enough time and crossbows, walls can only get safer. I just have to play it smart and take some risks. So far, it's working. I'm curious. Well, we'll keep talking about the beast for now. Like a proper diplomat. Any interesting beasts you hunt for? Oh, I hunt for nothing, she smirks. Not since I lost my arm, and the boys outside are not made for it either. They have no drive to fight, you see, and grow up to be wimps. They sometimes club down a hare, but we're all about foraging and bird traps now. The folks in creeks do the real hunting, she said after a pause. Runners, mouthloons, rats, sometimes a buffalo or a saurian. We have no soils for fields, so game meat is all we have left. She stretches out, getting even taller. Do you hunt often? Well, I'm definitely not going with the I do making a monster bleed feeds me alive up, makes me feel alive option. I think it's a little bit much. I'd go with if I'm about to starve. I don't enjoy killing. We're a nice guy, I think. You picked a rough trade for yourself then. I used to like it. Hunting, sure, but even more so crushing the undead. I've been cut down a few bandits for good pay. But now, when my dumb ape of a son goes on a longer trip, my heart pounds like a hammer. He thuds our clenched fist against her head. I couldn't go on like this. Bandits also have mothers, eh? Let's see. Here we go. I brought you north. You don't look like someone who spends their life cleaning tables. Once you burn enough dead friends and relatives, clean tables start to look pretty tempting. She leans forward and takes another look at her bottle, sealing with an approving nod. My mom and pa are both big and strong. One time they saw me sitting on this kid, twisting his arm, so they started to teach me. Staff duels, running, lifting barrels and rocks. Thankfully, the army chieftain said I wasn't disciplined enough. She rubs the scars on her forehead, so I did a lot of things. Escorted some merchants, joined a group of adventurers, hunted for bounties, guarded a village, temple. The last memory makes her voice gloomy. Not all these things make me proud of myself. She smells the meat in her cup, but doesn't take a sip. I moved here only after I lost my arm, when the folks were fleeing the invasion. I took my elan, a casket of dragons, and joined a more organized group. Armed or not, I still have a fierce punch, I bet. She lets out a pleased grunt. Eyes worth keeping around. Like 8 feet tall, I bet you. Punch someone in the face. Her voice can't hide that she's delighted to carry on for a tale. Now that the years are catching up with me, and even more so off my back, I need to build myself a decent shelter. I crave no adventures, but I'm happy to hear stories from other restless souls. In the meantime, I'll practice this little trick. She points out the cauldron in the middle of the room and starts to make circles with her fingers. The ladle mimics the movement, mixing the stew for another moment or two. That's also good for this back. Should I ask about the arm? I'm curious. I nod towards the spot where our right arm should be. Any story there? She leans back, moving her shoulders and chest up and down as if she's having a soundless chuckle. Not one I'm going to share with a newcomer, dear. Stay alive until next autumn. I'll open a casket of cold cider and tell you quite a tale. It has treason, treasure, monsters, and dark spells. But I'm way too sober for it now. She grabs her cup. Her wink turns into an awkward blink. Fair enough. Your name's Foggy, and this is Foggy Lake. Is the tavern named after you or after the lake? The lake has no name. She moves her cup away and leans forward, resting her elbow on the table. Her voice is playful, warm. But there will be stories about this place, believe me, and about passing the lake while getting to Foggy's. I may not be a dragon slayer or a holy woman, but one way or another, my soul will live on in my name, tied to these walls. She looks at you in silence and bursts into laughter. You could swear she makes the jar shake. I'm plenty fine with being vain. Let's see. It was just smile. And after an awkward pause, Foggy smiles back at you. What's going to happen next? Will you build a real wall? Why not? They grow my connections in the village, buy more hard drinks, build another shed, a cabin, even hire a private warden for these roads, for my guests. She sips from her cup, looking at you. But it's all in the distant future. We, at Creeks, need to take care of the eastern route, clear for the traders. Without trade, all I have is the locals, and they don't even use dragon bones. But why do you care, dear? Are you planning to stay around? We'll see what the future brings. She nods, as we all will. Well, let's talk about her pneuma, or her magic, or whatever it is. So, you can move things with your thoughts. She chuckles. Why can't you? I don't know much about magic. Without a teacher, there's not much you can do. My grandparents used to be great mages, but not great enough to survive the plague. Her scarred lips form a grimace. My mom got no talent from them. After a year of training, she was hardly able to move a feather by a foot. I always knew I had a strong pneuma in my blood, but there was no soda there to teach me how to use it. She examines her cup. The ladle stops moving. I'm trying to figure it out myself, but I may not have enough summers left. Aw. Let's talk about your drinks. You seem to be into some expensive drinks. The pricey ones are gifts I received. They're treasures I found when I was young. I also bought a few. I like to offer something unusual to the wealthier, or more promising guest. She tilts her cup. I dabble with some recipes myself. I have plenty of brewing tools, though I can name maybe half of them. Still, from ales to hard drink, I've had some successes. Let's change the topic. I must say, love, I rarely meet folks with that many questions. She gives you a warm look. What hides beneath them? I'm just saying, we all need friends, don't we? She rests her hand on her stomach. We do, but some of us need them more than the others. I'd say it's better for me to have a peek into a warden's head. A good one could shake things up a fair bit. The bad ones, well, they die quickly. Let's see. We do need a rest, so... Can I spend a night or two under your roof? Let's see. She approaches a window above the table and looks outside. Your beast won't make it easy for us, dear. She places her head on the shutters. It's not a city inn. I don't cook for a smile. I don't work to feel noble. I respect it. I allow folks to lie down there for free. She points to the bare fur of her broad chin. But that's about it. If your horse stays outside, it'll lure the beast to us. But if we move it here upstairs, it'll leave droppings on my floor. She gets annoyed by the idea of it happening. If you want to rest here, love, either be ready to pay some coin or some food rations, or to spend the night keeping your mouth got tied. If you want to rest here, love, either be ready either to pay for coin or some food rations, or to spend the night keeping your mouth quiet. And clean after it in the morning, will you? She steps away. Oh, that's fine. Let's talk about working real quick. She grins. I somehow doubt you're here to forge for me, love. Not that I have any room for another soul. Let me think. She runs her eyes over the shelves and the trophies, but it's the rocks surrounding the fireplace that catch her attention. The folks at Old Pagos are weirdly quiet. They are supposed to drop 2 wagons of rocks at my place. Can you check on them? Just find out if they're fine. You mentioned the payment. It won't take much work from a rider. You can get there and back in less than a day, just west of here, until the road takes you south again to the crossroads. Turn west again and you'll find a village. I'll give you, let's say, a dragon bone. You say that it's not much, but she waves it off. A road warden should get familiar with all the villages anyway, right? Just do it when you have the chance. I have more coins for you once you prove you can be trusted with simpler tasks. Is there anything else that I need to know? Well, we're here. Let's see, what do you have for sale? Now you're talking, she grins. Well, I can serve you some of my cooking. Not food rations, mind you. Need what we can save for the winter seasons. Let's say you give me a dragon. In return, I'll cook for you 4 times. You just need to ride up when you're hungry. And other than that, you won't take any wood or stone, are you? Seeing you shrug, she waves it off and heads towards the trap door. After a moment, she sews up with a sack that clangs after every step. I can sell you some scraps. She pulls out a couple of iron clasps, nails, and a broken steel blade. A value trash. We found them while foraging. We don't have a furnishing creeks, but you can sell these bits and pieces somewhere else. She observes you for a moment and then shrugs. Let's discuss the price. I wonder if that's from that wagon. Let me take a look first. I'll just get the meals. I don't really have the money for the scraps right now. Okay, cool. What can you tell me about the peninsula? I know this and that. Which place? What can you tell me about... Oh, jeez, I already forgot the name. Journal... Howler's Dell. Well, there's a lot to say about Howler's Dell, dear. Her eyes dart around, and you have to press her before she says anything of note. It's in the middle of the western road, among the safer lands, and has a large forest garden. Its folks eat and drinks well, dress well, and have plenty of guards and the strong spells of their druids. She scratches her knee, measuring every word. Whatever you do, remember to laugh at the mayor's jokes. Her name's Thighs. Don't get in her way. Her voice is as grim as her eyes are serious. You wonder how this Thighs looks. You imagine that Foggy should be able to squash most humans in the brink of an eye. How about... No, we're good. Anything else we need to know? Let's talk about these bandits and these necromancers since we're here. I've heard there are some bandits in the north. She makes an annoyed grimace. What can I tell you, dear? You know how it goes. Lost souls need a new path after an offense finds them. But the years go by and it doesn't get any easier. One day they take a pile of firewood, another one of some bread, and clothes. After they start hurting folks, there's no way back, even if they're not at all cruel. You ask her some more, but she's reluctant to give you straightforward answers. You don't have to worry about Glossia's band. They hunt, sometimes take this or that, scavenge after folks who get drunk by beasts. But she's never tried to threaten my place. You're safe here, and they wouldn't try to bother a road warden. And why would they try to bother a road warden? Let's see, there's two options. I'm not really gonna give her some flack about supporting the outlaws. She didn't seem that bad. Anyway, she may be right. Some men are just desperate. Her scarlet lips form a grimace of a smile. Is there anything else? I think we're good. Time for... Well, we're gonna sleep. Screw it. I'm gonna rent it. Sleeping in the attic. You have plenty of space and many furs to choose from. The staff will help you take care of your mounts filth. Yep, let's do it. Pay the cost to be the boss, as they say. Jesus Christ. Different traders are interested. Oh, this part. A monster's shout wakes you up. The night is bright, and from the window of the tavern, you have a good look at the yard. A few massive dragonlings are exploring the courtyard, knocking over wooden tools with their tails, putting their noses in the buckets underneath the stairs. You count 5 of them so far, but you can't see the entire area at once. One of them spots your look and moves closer. Still, it doesn't try to climb to the door. Maybe it's experienced enough to know it won't get through. Go back to sleep with my axe. I think I'm going to close the shutter. And again. Yeah, I'm just going to close it. I'm losing my mind if that was the game over thing. The monster breaks the shutter and grabs you. You're dead. Listening to the grunts of the annoyed Cruxiel makes you feel uneasy, but at least the furs covering the floor are helping you relax. You don't even notice when it's already morning, and while the smell coming from the lower floor is not inviting, at least it's not you who has to take care of it. They're about to cuss me out. Foggy turns you and wait for you to speak. And we might as well eat. I like to eat. She stretches out her arm and grabs a bowl. Give me a moment. You sit down at the clean table. At a moment, the keeper brings you toasted acorn bread, a large slice of muffin cheese, and a piece of roasted pike. Once you're done, Foggy packs the leftovers for you as a snack for the rest of the day and mentions that you've already paid for another 3 meals. I think we're good, girl. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, Mommy. Time for me to go. Let's see. Let me talk to the foragers. Once the man in black fur hears your steps, he nudges his companion, nods towards you. They put away the old noose straps they were trying to fix, proper for hares and small birds. The tall one spreads his arms, thundering his loud welcome. A road warden. I guess we're going to see each other a lot. I'm Ellen, and this is Civvy 11. No, I'm kidding. The man in the black fur looks up, frowning. There's also a third man. Unlike the rest of the staff, he has an unkempt beard and wearing clothes made of blue fabric packed with scraps of flour sacks. He only has a right hand, though unlike the tavern keeper, he has kept the rest of his arm. He's looking down to examine the trap, but his shoulders are slumped, eyes absent. Ian doesn't introduce him. What's my name? Me, bro. Nice to meet you. William smiles. Were you at Pelt of the North yet, friend? He blushes. How's Dell doing? Oh, yeah, okay, I remember them. The one with the yellow armor? She's well. Seems to keep the whole crew together. I don't know why I would lie about it. Well, there's always a reason. That's her. A lively color, aye. Yellow. He smiles, but you catch a hint of envy in his voice. Better say hi to her for us. Her boss was looking for hard drinks and healing potions. I wish I could have helped her. He glances at his companion, who's currently observing a column of ants running up. He glances at his companion, who's currently observing a column of ants running alongside the palisade. That's the one thing about these super text-based things. Once you get tongue-tied, you just massacre an entire sentence. They're offering good prices, and she was really good at dice and told us about so many monsters. Civvy adjusts his black coat. Our traps won't fix themselves. What brings you to us? Ilian frowns at this interruption, but says nothing. I just wanted to be friendly, bro. Let's see. Turns on hand. I guess I'll make a little small talk before I... Do you often have travelers here? Ilian's voice is like thunder. Nah, you may very well be the last one this season. Sometimes a group of adventurers, who knows why, and southern traders in spring and autumn. Most of our visitors are from the villages, usually creeks and gale rocks. They leave goods at our place or just outside, and my mom burdens in their name with the others. I mean, rocks, timber, furs, and barrel fish can wait a few days. What's your plan? I can use some work. Civvy nods, and Ila's voice gets even louder. Glad to hear that. There's hardly any fruits left around here, and even fewer mushrooms, so we're planning to do some bird catching, a hunt without killing. Maybe not today, but in 8 days, maybe a bit later. What do you say? Why would you need my help with birds? Don't you just let them walk in the traps? Ilian glances at the cord used for snares. These won't do. We're going to catch a runner this big. He raises his muscular arm and stops it maybe about a foot above his head. And bring it here alive. We want his meat for later. The man with one end interrupts him. His voice is weak but disdainful. Beasts ought to be dealt with, not tamed. Bonding with monsters only bring death. He has the accent of city folk, same as yours. Will bring his bellies full of runners, squawks Civvy. What are you going to do with your catch? We'll tether it to the palisade for a day or two, then take it to the creeks. Our tribe's folk have enough space to look after it through autumn. Maybe we'll drop a few eggs, even if not, it's fresh food. Is there a problem with surprise in creeks? Let's find out. The exchange looks, maybe, admits Civvy, but not enough to make us pay you more. How much do you pay on a... I mean, it may be a scary trip, but it won't take that long, Elian shrugs. Let's show up here at noon or before, or we'll be back in a few hours. You get 5 dragons, 2 of the bird dies. That's a good price for an afternoon, eh? What's your plan exactly? Elian grabs a rope and shanks it in front of you. We'll catch his neck. Your part will be to keep it from running. Don't hurt it, just make it busy enough to surround us. Can't leave my horse behind. Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. Elian moves a hand just like his mother. The idiot will take care of it. Jeez. Damn. One-headed man starts to object, but a harsh shut up from Civi makes him sigh. His shoulders sag, Elian goes on. He's a loony and would stumble over his own feet on a trip, but he does what he needs when told to, and you know he won't steal. He hates animals. Jeez, bro. Fine, I'll be back in 8 days or soon after that. Elian grins. Do so. We still need to prepare, and you better do so as well, but don't make us wait for long. Let's not test the bird's patience. Just come one day before afternoon. I don't know why I would think he works silly. Let's go. I guess I could I probably need a bath or something. Oh, jeez. Oh, fuck. I completely forgot about that. Oh, my goodness. I'm embarrassed. You enter the bridge and move to its edge. Somewhere below you notice a glimmer. Hey, you. Step back. Run. Without even thinking, you leap towards the yard. A long teeth-filled mouth breaks through the water surface, splashing in every direction. It bites the empty place where you were just standing, while the front limbs, thick-scaled and ending with claws as large as your fingers, land on the wood. Once the saurian's yellow eyes notice that you're outside of its reach, it nonchalantly slides into the lake. Jeez. You hear laughter coming from the yard. Elian was running with help, but now stands with hands on his thighs, cackling without rest. Civi, on the other hand, looks at you with worry. You see a hand kept beneath his cloak, as if he was reaching for something. What are you doing, eh? This lake isn't for outsides. I guess for Aaron, thank you for the warning. I'll stay away, don't you worry. He just nods and gestures for his companion to cut it. They both move towards the gate. Well, that, so much for that bath. I'm fixing that. I'm gonna clean that statue. Let's see. The brook carries leads down the branches, sending into the lake. The statue is left to itself, with its purpose forgotten. All right, let's cut down the branches. You tether Cruxio to the tree, letting it choose between drinking, grazing, and napping. You prepare your equipment, keeping an eye on the bush where you saw the rabbit's last moments. You use your weight to move the plants to one side, then cut right above the ground. The stems are healthy and flexible, so getting through them is rough, but you have enough strength to deal with them a couple of minutes, then throw them into the lake. The work goes on for a bit, but once you're done, the statue stands in its former glory. A couple of old offerings are still on the pedestal: polished rocks, bone figurines, and moldy bowls and plates they used to store food. In one vessel you see a dragon bone. It's dark and can be older than a generation, but will surely be accepted by any merchant. I'm gonna leave it there. It's probably some weird curse or something. I don't need that kind of drama. Let's see. Can I wash myself in the stream? Oh god. I'm gonna try it. Okay. The brook would hardly cover your feet, but you can sit in the pebbles and splash yourself with water. Let's see. The ash soap can help you get cleaner. Do I need that? Let's see. Hold on. Let's look at these real quick. Vitality, armor, appearance. Let's see. Maybe that'll help. Let's take a little bird bath. I wash my shell. As you wash your sweaty skin, Cruxio quenches his thirst and looks for intruders. I step away. Alright, let's see. I think we're going to try and go here, because I think she mentioned something about west. Jeez. The path leads downward through the hills. The forest gets thicker and the signs of human touch are rare. The lone, large boulder surely draws attention. You can't guess its age, but the paths around suggest it was passed plenty of times already. You stop Cruxio to take a closer look. The remains of red paint are covering the eastern side. It's the same message as the one you saw at the southern crossroads. Don't enter. Danger ahead. You look at the dark road and hear the distant roar of a dragon. Oh, nope, Nope. I'm not ready to enter the heart of the forest. Nope. Oh, jeez. You take a look at your bundles, mounted weapons, and think about the beasts of the woods. You may not be able to outrun them. No, we're gonna... Nope. We're just gonna go this way. Man, where on earth is the sea? The first part of the trail is narrow and overgrown. The steep crag and the south divides a lush forest in half. You barely recognize any shapes in the entanglements of grays, browns, and greens. The northern landscape, while similarly impenetrable, is the exact opposite. The meadow turns into barren hills and mountains barely covered by grass and bushes. Maybe the riding ibex that cleanse people from the growing mountains would get through such a barrier. I have no sense of direction. There are no clans here. Oh, right. The road leads you downhill to the edge of the lake. The clearing around the dwelling is quiet, with no crickets, flies, or even toads. The grass is not even knee-high. There are no signs of a wharf or boats. The wall wasn't coated and has already been bitten by winds and rain. I look for an entrance. Right next to the gate, a gargoyle or stone look-alike kneels on a slab. It's dark purple, almost black, with yellow pointy teeth through its half-open mouth. Though its half-open mouth has no tongue, and the creature doesn't even move an inch. The eyes have been replaced by crystals, red like currant juice. Let's knock on the gate. Find no knocker, use your fist. There's no response. Is anyone home? Ah, shoot. Oh, okay. Your voices welcomed by the screeching of dozens of avian throats. They take off behind the wall, heading towards the lake. After a few breaths, the eyes of the gargoyle grow brighter. What's with all the ape shouts? Ye lost? The words are coming from the monster's mouth, though it remains still. Stand in front of me. I want to see a mug. The drawing voice belongs to a woman, but is lined with unnatural creaking. I step closer. Okay, this is odd. The eyes don't rotate or blink. Where are you? Jeez, this playful one seems really mean. Vulnerable. Maybe I'll try vulnerable. I'd like to ask you a few questions, that's alright. Is that so? My house isn't a shelter for vagrants. You need to stay somewhere, go back to the tower. Do you even know who I am? I don't, I'm afraid. I'm just getting another realm. So you lost your way, and now you're wasting my time. Long pause. I'm Adosia, the only entranced you'll find in this land, and you're disturbing my work. I don't see people in the middle of the day. Return early morning or a few hours before dusk if you have to. Best you don't bother me around at all. The monster's eyes darken again. Your mind's ready to ride away. I'm not that interested. I'm good, girl. Where's this again? The ruins. And we'll go here. You know, I think we might call it a night at this one. Yeah, I think we're good for tonight. We've made a lot of progress. We met some Enchantress. We met Foggy, who I think is great. And we did not die when we fought the 20 wolves or anything like that, or the Saurians jump scaring us from the lake. So this has been Mr. Mebro Man, and we are going to sign off now. And I will see you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.